Hey there, my friend. I just wanted to welcome you to this exclusive training on how you can turn your website into a lead generation machine pretty much as soon as you get after it following this training. So my name is Dusty. I'm the Senior Analyst and Director of Marketing at Ascension Marketing Solutions. We're an internet marketing firm. We primarily help small businesses to create and embellish or grow their web presence basically through the means of search engine marketing and client acquisition. So we just have a desire to really see small business grow. It's just the American dream. So that's kind of what we're all about. So if you're a business owner and you're in this training right now, then you're likely having the same problem that a lot of business owners, including myself when I started out as a young entrepreneur, are having when it comes to acquiring clients. And that's, how do you keep a steady flow of customers coming into your business, and what happens when you're hitting a stagnant point where you're having trouble really getting them. So that's what we're going to look at today. Is this training is designed to teach you how to take advantage of an asset that you already have, which is your website, and how to make it work for you, so that it takes the pressure off a little bit of you having to pursue clients, and in turn have an asset that's actually helping to bring clients to you. So my goal for you today with this training is basically to equip you to be able to generate more leads for your business, like I said, immediately following this training when you implement these elements that we're going to talk about. So what we're going to be doing is basically tweaking a few things on your website, utilizing your current web presence, just to maximize everything that you got going for you already, without taking much time away from you, so that you can get back to doing the things that you really love to do and you really need to do as a business owner. So as a business owner myself, I understand the grind that you constantly have to go through in order to continue to make sure that you are bringing in the revenue that you need to bring in, and everything of that nature. Just make sure everything functions the way that it's supposed to. So that's what this training is going to do. This training will result in higher conversion rates. It's not something that I'm just going to give you because I think that it works and anything like that. I'm going to show you an actual couple real life examples from big companies that are using these strategies that are actually doing well. And so what I'm going to show you today are the exact same elements that we ourselves implement on every single website for each of the businesses that we work with. And we're regularly seeing over 50% increase in customer action, meaning that the most basic example that we see very constant is that businesses who are maybe generating only a couple of leads a month from their website, once they implement some of these things and change these things that we are going to show you, these elements on their website, once they address them, are now seeing in the dozens on the same level of traffic that they were getting before. So no change in their actual foundational traffic or web presence. Just literally tweaking these things on the website is actually allowing them to convert at a higher rate. So here's what we're going to cover in this training. Try to keep it simple and under 15 minutes. We're going to go through the essential elements of your website, what it needs to be able to compel your visitors to take action. So like I was saying earlier, it's great that we have pretty and awesome websites, but we don't want visitors just to come to our site and look at how pretty it is. We're usually in the businesses that we're in to be able to make a decent living, and to provide for our families and to grow our business into what we've always dreamed it to be. And so that requires that we hopefully will turn our visitors into paying customers. So when somebody lands on our website, we need them to pick up the phone and call us. We need them to maybe fill out that contact form, whichever is most desirable for your business. So as we walk through these elements, I'm also going to be highlighting the biggest mistakes that most businesses make with their websites. So hopefully it can kind of help you to understand both sides of the coin as we go through everything here. So and kind of a golden nugget at the end, we're going to kind of give you a little bit of information and a couple of tips on how you can maximize the sale potential once you actually have the customer inside of your process. Once you've contacted them via the phone, or they've contacted you, or they've submitted an inquiry from your website, how you can actually maximize that potential to turn them into a customer and actually close the deal. So before we get going into the actual bullet points of everything, I just want to pinpoint a couple of things that hopefully get your wheels turning beforehand that you can kind of have in the back of your mind as we go through this, so that hopefully you'll be able to understand some of the reasoning behind why these things work the way that they do. So they just kind of be a little bit more beneficial to you in the long run. So a couple of things we need to understand about our visitors before we really look at why we're doing what we're doing on our website. One of the first things that we need to understand about most of our visitors are that in the digital marketing world, that old saying that you only get one first impression is actually very true. And in these cases, most people will make a decision to either stay on your website and check you out, or leave and go check out another website within the first 8 seconds of landing on your page. So it's very important to understand that that first impression is very important when it comes to people landing on your site. The next thing that we need to understand about our visitors is that a majority of the people who land on our site are most likely not ready to buy just yet. There are the occasional few customers that come to your website intentionally to buy your services, but in most cases, people who are discovering your website for the first time are trying to still make a decision on who they are going to choose, and so they have that age-old buyer's question in their head, which is, why do I choose this business over the other business? And they're comparing and contrasting. So got to keep that in mind as we're thinking about how we interact with our visitors that come to our site. The last thing is you can really fine-tune these things that we're going to go over when you have analytics. So if you don't have any analytics coming to your site, what that is just a way to track every interaction with your website. So where people come from when they come to your website, what pages are they coming in on, what are they doing when they are on your website, what are they interacting with, those things. It's really easy to set up something like Google Analytics on your website. There's also a bunch of other options that are available to you. You can do a quick Google search. And we're not going to get deep into that, but just keep that in mind. If you can track all of these things, all these interactions, it's going to help you to be able to fine-tune this process a little bit more. So let's go ahead and jump right in. We're going to take a look at the key ingredients that your website needs in order to generate more leads for your business. So the very first thing we need to make sure that our websites have is a clear, unique value proposition. What that is, if you're not familiar with that phrase, is basically the reason why your customers should choose your business over your competitors. So that's what we call the unique value proposition, is what makes you unique and separate from the rest of your competitors. So an example of something like this would be this website here, JCPenney. They do this really well. And again, there's a billion other examples out there. You can go look at a lot of businesses of this caliber, or even smaller businesses, and you can see some of these things that they're doing and how they're working. Right here, if you can notice right off the bat, in right across the header there, 25% off $100 or more, or 20% off under $100. Basically, this is the reason why you would shop at JCPenney, because you're going to get a sick deal. You're either going to get 20% off on any purchase under $100, or 25% off if you spend more than $100. And this sale ends, so you can see that sale ends on May 17th. So basically, this is the reason why they're enticing people to shop with them. Now, if you're something like a carpet cleaning service, maybe you offer a free floor inspection. That might be something that you use to entice your customers, to show them how you're different. Whatever kind of special thing that you're doing, you want to make sure your customers know that. One of the big mistakes that businesses make is they don't utilize this idea. They just have your brand, the generic, hey, this is who we are. We provide these services, yada, yada, yada. But you got to remember, you got an 8-second window for them to see some potential as to why it is that they would choose you over their competitors. So unique value proposition, need to have it, needs to be super clear. Second thing, you need a very strong call to action. What this basically is you need to tell your customers what you want them to do on your site. A big example of something like this would be, you see this a lot, very generic, is call us today, and you have the phone number. A good example of how this works better to have a stronger call to action is Mozilla Firefox. Mozilla is the maker of the browser Firefox. And a couple years ago, they had a call to action on their download button that just basically said, try Firefox 3. So they decided to update that to something a little bit more hefty, a little bit stronger call to action. And they put on there download Firefox and then a hyphen and free. And they actually saw a massive increase in the amount of downloads they had because that call to action was a lot stronger and a lot more direct. Actually told their customers what to do a lot better than the old call to action. So this is another mistake that businesses make, is that they either have very weak call to actions or don't utilize them whatsoever. So you need to make sure you have that as well. Third thing is solid and verifiable social proof. What social proof is basically you being able to tell your potential customers your past customers' experience. So sharing things like testimonials, those are very big things. You'd be able to show the customer, here's why you should choose us, is because we do a good job, using those reviews and those experiences to be able to, relay to your potential customers why it is that they need to pick you instead of your competitor. So that's the third thing. This last thing here is if not just as important as all of the others combined, your site needs to be optimized for mobile compatibility. One of the big reasons this is absolutely so important is, say for Google, for instance, the most recent data Google has released shows that of all the users that use Google, over 73% of them are using Google from a mobile device. So basically, if your website is not mobile compatible, you are missing out on a massive amount of potential customers, no matter the industry you're in. People are using the internet from mobile devices. You need to be mobile compatible. So these are basically the 4 key things. If you can ensure that your website hits these 4 things, and you do them as well as you possibly can, and like I said, go take a look at some of these other sites like JCPenney, Mozilla, the 2 that we mentioned. You can look at a bunch of other ones and see that they all have these elements and they all utilize them. Why? Because they work. When you have these, you're going to see a drastic difference in the amount of people that actually take action on your website versus what you're seeing now. So this last thing we wanted to hit on is how you can maximize the close. When you get the customer on the phone, or when you get that interaction from them, how do you increase your chances of actually getting them to buy your services? Can't stress this enough. One of the reasons why we're doing a lot of these things on our website is to promote customer experience, a good customer experience. A lot of mistakes that business owners make these days is that you design everything on your website, you design all your processes with you in mind. And the mistake there is that your business is serving customers, so we should be focusing our efforts on how our website is appearing to our customers, how our processes appear to our customers. So in this case, make sure you're proactive and you go above and beyond to ensure your customer understands everything. All of their questions are answered. You go, above and beyond to give them more information than, about who you are, what you do, and about their problem and how you can solve it. And be diligent with the follow-up if that's necessary. So if your customer says they're going to shop around, then say, yeah, that's great. Maybe the next day follow up with them and see how they're doing. If they have any more questions, if there's anything they come across. So definitely want to make sure you really nail that home, and you're going to see that customer experience is going to make a difference in your ability to be able to close the sale. So now that we have all this information, what are you supposed to do with it? Obviously, what I would like you to do is to take these things, these nuggets, and go to your website following this training and implement them. And I guarantee you that if your site is getting traffic currently, you're going to see an increase in the amount of people that are actually taking action on your site and giving you a call. So if you're a business right now and you're saying, well, my web presence isn't that great, or maybe you just flat out want more customers, you need to bring in more traffic. That's something that we can actually help you with. And if you're interested in additional information about how you can grow your presence online and acquire a steady stream of customers, just click the button below and you can schedule a free consultation with us, and we'd be glad to walk you through just some strategies and how you can get there. So thanks for enjoying the training, and I hope you have a great day.